Okay, in the new Pro 5.4, we made some improvements on the cards, specifically when it interacts with the application password manager. If you recall, prior to 5.4, if you want to, fill in your credentials using cards, you have to come to our icon here and do a fill in logon data. You get to verify your identity screen and you put your card. And you see we do the fill in. So that's prior, but we have improved it so that right now it will work just as you use your fingerprint. If you put your fingers, it's just gonna fill in now. Same thing in 5.4. If you just put your card, it's gonna do the fill in. And on the same note, if you have a desktop with nothing, no password manager trained, if you just put the card, you get the same thing as if you have put the fingerprint, which is the we'll call it the quick link, the one-touch menu, the old one-touch menu. So you can do that now with the card. Now this seems easy, but took engineers quite some work to achieve this, and basically it's a good time to introduce this feature together with QuickActions. Actually they complement each other quite well, so I'm going to show you quickly how QuickAction works. So if you start the user console or the DigitalPersona Pro, you can go to Advanced, go to Preferences, and you see that we added a new tab here called QuickAction. And you can do a lot of things, using the hotkey configuration. Well, this was there. QuickActions right here. You can use a credential or hotkey to do any kind of action. Right now you see that I have these two set up, the credentials and the control plus credentials. I have these two set up by policy. That's why I cannot change this. I'll show you the group policy a little bit later, but right now you can also, this one, the shift credential, I did not set it through group policy, so I could do it locally here on each machine. And you can you can use it to start fast connect, which is I have a different video for that. You can lock the computer with the shift credential, and you can do password manager action. So let's do lock computer, which is quite popular. A lot of people want to do that. So it's going to be a shift credential. It's going to lock computer. Going to apply. Now let me just zoom out. Going to do a shift fingerprint. That locks the computer. Going to unlock it with the finger. And now I'm going to do a shift and the card. Very fast. Okay, now on the server side, for the QuickActions GPO, you can access it by going to the Group Policy Manager Editor, going to the the administrative templates on the DigitalPersona Pro client. Under General Admissions, you will see QuickActions. And as you can see, you can set up credential, control plus credential, or shift plus credential. I'm gonna set and show you shift plus credential. Very easy, you just enable it, and you can choose to do fast connect, lock workstation, or simple password manager action. Select lock workstation, hit apply, and that's it. Any machine that is connected to this domain will have this policy, and you will be able to lock your workstation, as I showed you previously when you do a shift plus credential. By the way, it has to be a shift plus primary credential, like a fingerprint or a card. Like shift plus Bluetooth will not work. Okay, time to talk about the new cards that we are now supporting with Pro 5.0. First one is the Felica, made by Sony. This is actually a proximity card. Here's the card. In a sense, you treat it just like a proximity card. The only difference is that for Sony Felica, you had to install a separate driver, and I can show you where to get it. On the our product CD, go to the client, go to drivers, and there should be a folder called Felica, and just run the install. So after the driver installation, you actually had to reboot. This is it's not a plug and play device. So after install the driver, reboot, and now we're ready to show you how to register. Basically, it's the same. Go to the user console. On the credential manager, you can select cards. Zoom in. You just place a card on the reader. It's gonna ask you enter Windows password and click on save. Successfully enrolled. And of course, the way you use it is the same. Put the card. And when trying to use this Sony Felica proximity card, make sure you set up the session policy GPO to include proximity cards. This is actually what I forgot to do in the last video segment. That's why it wasn't working. But now that I set it up using proximity card for session policy, now I can use it for password management. Obama wins. Okay, here in the mail, Yahoo, already trained. I can just put my Felica card, and you can see it filled in. And that's it for the Felica card. And by the way, I just want to show you that from the device manager, the Felica card actually has its own category. Here showing as Felica port. Okay, moving on, I'm going to show you another card. I'm going to unplug the Sony. I'm plugging another new card reader that we are supporting now, the Indala. And here's the proximity badge or token for Indala. Installation is a little bit easier because this one is a plug and play. Just have to plug it in to the USB port, and it should install the driver by itself. It's installing the driver now. Installation is done. You don't need to reboot or anything, but just tricky thing here is in the device manager, it shows up under keyboards as a HID keyboard device. You might have noticed that since I have a problem registering this card, and if you check my user console, it shows that the proximity card is already set up. That's why it was not letting me register this one. The reason was because I was doing this demo back to back with the Felica card, and Felica card is already a proximity card, so in the server it still had the information about the Felica card, so it's not letting me register the Indala proximity card. And to solve this, you actually have to go to the server and delete the credentials for the proximity card. I can show you quickly. You go to Active Directories, right click on the username, select delete credentials, select proximity card and say delete. Okay, after I have successfully removed the proximity card credential from the server, I'm back at the workstation now. Of course, you can see that the proximity card now shows not set up. Okay, now I can show you how to register an Indala card. Nothing tricky to it, it's exactly the same. Go to cards, put it close to the reader, type in Windows password, click authenticate, save, done. And once properly registered, you just use it, you know. Hey, Brum is winning now. Okay, in this Mail Yahoo, already trained, just put the Indala card and it did the fill in. Thank you, that's a demo for the Indala card.